Morning. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. You know, it's a little Groundhog Day, but it's all good. Get up, make lunch, go to work.
Do you make the lunches for the kids?
You know what? No, my wife does. That's not my specialty.
But you thought you'd throw that in there, right? Just to kind of go, hey. If you were to make their lunch, what would you make?
I'd flash it back to my lunches. It would be, you know, the big Kaiser roll with ham and cheese. And my mom always used to throw in the half a moon. Remember that?
Oh, the half moon loon.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like a birthday cake. That thing was ridiculous.
And you know what? Those things never went bad too. Like, I remember my mom had those in the pantry downstairs. She forgot about them for a year, and you take them out, and they're still delicious. Can't be great for you.
I don't know how I'm still alive. Like, there was nothing natural about that thing.
No, nothing at all.
Nothing.
Tasted delicious though. Every time you got one, you thought, man, God, my mom's the best.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, thanks for joining us this morning. Winnipeg's done. Let's start there. We'll start in Winnipeg and come back over to Montreal, Ottawa. Winnipeg's done. What a great story they were this year. Feel a good story. Did you watch the end of that game when they're...
I never even saw
it. It kind of gave me chills.
You know what?
But you know, I thought
it's
Winnipeg that they were going to go all the way
especially for me, because I had them at least advancing to the third round. So, obviously speaking, I'm ticked off. But I think you have more of an appreciation for Anaheim and how deep they are. It's so much more than Perry and Getzlav here. We saw full value what Kessler can bring. And now you watch Vancouver against Calgary and you're like, man, could they use Ryan Kessler? Can anybody use Ryan Kessler right now?
He's a killer, isn't he?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Adam scores an unbelievable goal.
Crazy.
Cogliano's been terrific since he got out of Edmonton there. There's Maroon, Palmieri, these type of guys. Silversberg, right? Like, would you rather have him right now or Bobby Ryan if you're Ottawa?
Right. Oh, in a heartbeat.
Right? So all of a sudden Bolesky, this guy is going to be an unrestricted free agent. They can't sign him. But the decision to keep him was a good one because he had that hit against Adam Party, and you're like, that's the lasting effect of this series is at Anaheim. As much as you thought Winnipeg was ready for this challenge, they got steamrolled. They got steamrolled in this series by Anaheim.
I didn't see it coming either, you know, and maybe it's just the history of the Anaheim Ducks, or maybe you doubted them because of their history. Maybe it was last year, that series with the Kings and how they went out. But yeah, I think they opened a lot of people's eyes during this series.
You know what? Even from a defensive standpoint, like, we know Lindholm's a good defenseman, but the beauty of the playoffs is you really learn about a team or individuals because you get to watch them every night. And, you know, from that perspective, now people are understanding why Anaheim made the decision to not worry about their goaltending and stick with a guy like Anderson. Gary Galley said it best last night that he's a big goalie who kind of plays a soft game when it comes to giving up rebounds. You don't see the puck bounce off him like it's a brick wall.
No, for sure. I'll get that one.
And he was very impressive in this
going into
round.
the series, but I thought they were going to go all the way, but you know, they're going to have chances.
Really got to like their chances to go deep.
Maybe now they can
I was surprised we saw Buffalo get
go
exposed a couple
away
times, and
to
obviously hitting is cool. Were
finals
you
and win
surprised with the
more
uneven
Stanley Cup.
performance from Buffalo?
They have been
You know, from the whole team in
rest
general,
of
but
this year.
yes, it just seemed that he was more in a groove, you know, and I don't know whether or not that suspension threw him off or not, but he never recovered off of it, and just the whole team in general didn't have that flow that they had to get them into the playoffs. They were chasing the game. that forces your star player now to kind of go outside of his comfort zone. And I thought, Byfuglien was really forcing everything. Picking and choosing the wrong time to jump up on the play, the frustration, the bad decisions on the ice. It was probably a good learning experience for him as a star player. I think, we saw him in Chicago win a Stanley Cup, but that was in a supporting role, and now he needed to be the front guy leading the way. But unfortunately, him, Wheeler, Ladd, they struggled in this round in terms of being the guys that set the tone. They never found their comfort zone.
Playoff insider Nick Kibrios moving over to Ottawa, Montreal just above in the road, I would imagine, for Montreal yesterday. They lose 1-0 to the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, and one of those games where you sit there and you thought for sure that Ottawa would not find a way to get it done. One goal at home you wouldn't think would extend this series at all. And they're going to have to find some offense here. They still are not in a position, I think, to feel comfortable to say that they feel good about their game right now. But at least they're alive. So it'll be tough to go into Montreal. They still have a difficult time finding any offense at all. They can't get pucks into the middle of the ice right now. It just seems that it's such a chore to do that. And when you do, you hope that it's a perfect shot like McHoffman had the other day. But they got some traffic in front of Carey Price at the right time, and we'll see what happens in Game 5.
Real quick before we let you go, and appreciate you doing this. Edmonton wins the draft lottery, probably for sure taking McDavid. Apparently, the next order of business is loading up on general managers. Peter Chiarelli, I heard, is in Edmonton. What's up with that?
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch whether or not they're looking at new general managers or creating, as my good friend Doug McLean would say, the fake general manager, and that would be president of hockey operations, who would be above, say, Craig McTavish, and then and that may be the case with Chiarelli here or somebody else going in there, but that's the job everybody wants, is that guy who gets to make decisions above the general manager and then blame the general manager when things go bad. But we understand that there's still going to be some major changes in Edmonton, and if it wasn't clear before, it's clear now. Bob Nicholson is the man in charge there.
Is Kevin Lowe's boss now, Nick?
I think he's the owner's boss. I mean, he seems to be the guy that gets to make all the decisions right now, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing. They tried it the old-fashioned way the last few years, and it hasn't worked out well, and we'll see if Bob Nicholson can give us some new blood.
I don't know. I think Kevin Lowe's track record speaks for itself. I'd keep him around. Anyway, thanks so much, Nick. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Okay, guys. Have a good one.